G'day team, and welcome to this series called Veterans. My name's Scott. I'm an ex-combat engineer of 8.5 years. I spent a bit of time in Bosnia. I was a mine warfare demolitions instructor, and after getting out of the military, was very involved with the RSL for 20 odd years. I'm now semi-retired and mentor young people and veterans in the community. Team, the idea of what a veteran is, and this series, Veterans, what are we going to cover? We're going to look at what a veteran is, who it affects, who they affect, who they have to interact with. We're also going to look at different organisations that are around and how they play in with veterans and working with veterans. And we're also going to have a talk about Remembrance Day. This is a 10-part series of 10 episodes. We're going to cover a number of different things and we're going to go through that right now. And I'm going to have a talk about each episode just in brief so you know what's coming up. I'm also going to be working with a gent called Stephen Centipento in Capital Radio in Canberra. Each Friday at 7:05, he'll be interviewing me for a small 5-minute segment where we talk about the episode coming up. Shortly after we go to air, the episode will go on the YouTube channel and away we go. During the course of this series, people, what we're hoping to do is get people talking. We want good, solid questions being asked and communication. This is not about bagging an organisation. This is not about bagging people. This is not about bagging anyone. It's not about being nasty. This is about opening the lines of communication between government and veterans, and between organisations and veterans, between veterans and their families. There's a number of things that we're hoping to achieve with these small, really 10 to 15 minute episodes each week for 10 weeks coming into Remembrance Day. A couple of housekeeping rules before we start and get into what's going to be covered in the series. I ask that you be respectful, team. I'm not here to be abused, and some of you, and I know all of us as veterans, have some pretty strong views on stuff. Don't go being abusive in the comments, we'll just delete them. Simple as that. All right. However, I, like everyone else, have an opinion. And as you have an opinion, I want you to share it with us. So if you disagree with what I have to say, don't be shy. Share it with us so that we can share it with the broader viewing audience. That way, we can have a good conversation and discuss things. Just don't be rude and honestly, don't be abusive. It's not going to go anywhere and we'll just delete it. Okay, so what are we going to be covering in this series? Well, our first episode, we're going to have a look at what a veteran is, right? Who the series is for, and some acronyms. In the next and following episodes, we're going to look at understanding veterans. We're going to have a talk about veterans. Okay, what makes them tick, how they've been trained. We're going to discuss PTSD and mental health and how it affects our veteran community. We're going to discuss the Department of Veteran Affairs, right, and look at what that organisation is and how maybe we can interact with them. We're going to discuss ex-service organisations, similar to the RSL and things like that. We're also going to discuss who is affected by veterans, things like family, workmates and colleagues. We're also going to discuss the Invictus Games. We're going to have a look at the Invictus Games and events like that and have a look at how they assist in recovery and the benefits that they have and how you can maybe get involved in some of those. We're also going to discuss medals. You'll notice behind us here the Australian Defence Medal, what some of them mean and more the prominence of this medal here. We're also hopefully going to have a segment where we share your comments. We actually let people know and what you're thinking. So I ask you during this whole period of these 10 episodes, don't be afraid to comment. Don't be afraid to put your view forward, because hopefully in some of those following episodes, we can use those and we can get the conversation started. All right. And the last one will be just before Remembrance Day, where we talk about the significance of Remembrance Day, and also I'll share a story about one of my experiences marching on Remembrance Day. So that's what we're going to cover, team. So let's get into it with the first episode and cover those important aspects of what a veteran is, all right, who this series is for, and also some acronyms. Let's go. Okay, team. So, during this episode, what we're going to cover is, first of all, the definition of a veteran, who this series is for, and some acronyms. The reason we're covering these is so you have some knowledge of, again, the definition of a veteran as we're using it within this episode and series, what the series or who the series is for, and so you understand the acronyms we're using. At the end of the episode, this episode especially, you'll have our definition and what we'll be using as a definition of a veteran, what the series and who the series is for, and we're also going to have a couple of acronyms sorted out. So our first point we want to discuss is the definition of a veteran. And I'm going to throw the specs on for this one. All right. The definition of a veteran, anyone that has served in the Defence Force, as they have signed up to defend our nation and its interests. And it is irrelevant, their deployment status, as they have had to do their job and train to perform their job wherever and whenever called upon. Viewers, look, this is going to be a landslide of comments on this one. Everyone has a view on this. I want you to share your view with us. I want you to let us know what you think and why you think that. All right? It's one of those arguments that's been had. And during this series, we're actually going to cover a few interactions with different people and their view on this. So, team, for the purpose of this series, our definition of a veteran is anyone that has served in the Australian Defence Force and has that medal there. Who's this series for? Viewers, this is for everyone out there, everyone in the public space. This is for politicians. God, I hope they do watch it. This is for people in the Department of Veteran Affairs. This is for veterans. This is for families. This is for mums, dads, brothers, sisters, aunties, uncles, workmates, people that are serving. This is for everyone. What we hope to do by this presenting this series is start the conversation. All right, around a few things that may be a little bit touchy and people have some strong views about. Make sure, as I said, if you do have a view during this series, put it in the comments below. Let us know what you think. So when we get the opportunity, we can share them with everyone. Now let's have a look at some acronyms. Joy. The military loves them, so do veterans. DVA, the Department of Veteran Affairs. Nice simple one. Most people would have heard of the Department of Veteran Affairs, whether it be in the news or if dealing with a veteran. ESO, ex-service organisation. We'll have a chat about those, right? RSL, Return and Services League of Australia, or New South Wales or Queensland. So there's three acronyms that we'll be using a fair bit during the course of this series. So team, during this episode, we've covered three things. The definition of a veteran, what we think it is, and also, okay, how we'll be using it within this series and how we will refer to it as, why and who the series is for, and we've explained a couple of acronyms. The reason we've covered these is so you understand the definition of the veteran as we have the series, who the series is for, so you let people know, and explaining those acronyms. So, ladies and gentlemen, viewers, thank you for joining us for the first episode of Veterans. Now, make sure you join us also on Capital Radio in Canberra with Stephen Centipento, okay, when he interviews us at 7:05, okay, on Friday mornings, coming into, okay, Remembrance Day. I'd like to thank you for joining us, and I want to ask you one last thing before we go, ladies and gentlemen and viewers, okay, I need you to like this video. I need you to share this video. All right, share it far and wide. Let's get this out so we can start these important conversations in a really respectful manner. And third and lastly, make sure you subscribe, team. All right, this is Scott or Harry, as I'll be known during this series as, okay, signing off from the Shed 2.0. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. See you later.